Hello my loves, I am here and you may notice that this month is a little bit different. Mostly because we're in a heat wave here in the UK and I have the fan going, so hopefully that doesn't come up on the mic, but the fan is going, the windows are open, the doors are open because I'm too hot and I look how I feel. So I thought maybe this month we'll just focus on the cards instead of my terrible face. So here we are. We are here for our full moon July reading, our full moon in Aquarius, and I thought I would use my Mystic Mondays deck today because I haven't used it in a while and it's one of my favourite decks. It's also the first deck I ever used to learn tarot on, and I feel like I made it harder for myself, but it also made it very interesting. So yeah, this month we're focusing on full moon in Aquarius. Aquarius being an air sign, it is, I've noticed quite a lot of the readings that I've done recently in the past week or so, for myself and for clients as well, they've all been about this theme of finding authenticity and finding who we are kind of deep down in our kind of inner child, our inner world, what we believe, challenging those beliefs, looking at our ideas, our expectations, and really just unpacking all of that and making sure that we feel aligned with everything that's kind of going on in our heads. So I went ahead and pulled this spread for us all, usual 10 card spread, and I see pretty much what I was just talking about reflected in the spread. We have a lot of major arcana cards. We have the Devil, we have the World, we have the Moon, Justice, and the Magician. So right now we are really getting deep down into all of those things that kind of make us, our personality, our vices, our virtues, and we're really laying it all out on the table, pun intended, and working through it all. So it's a really cleansing time. It's a time where we feel really connected with who we are, where we start to discover who we really are, maybe if we weren't really that sure before, but we're really kind of getting down into it. So let's get started. So in the middle section we have the World and the Moon. So the World being that card of ascension, of being able to move forward into a new cycle, into something that feels very fresh, new, unknown, but we are currently in that ascension mode. However, we have that Moon card on top of the World. So there is a feeling of, before we can really take that step and really find that kind of enlightenment and that kind of clarity that we may be looking for, we have to do a bit of moon work. So we have to delve down into those depths, really dredge up all of the stuff we've been maybe repressing or we didn't want to kind of face, all of our vices, maybe bad habits, bad routines, anything that we've kind of buried deep down or that we haven't really been that conscious of or that focused on. We're really dredging all of that up, working through it so that we can then lift this up, ascend into the World, and that feeling of completion and of reaching a point where we can now transform and move into a new version of ourselves, or at least an upgraded version of ourselves. We are evolving into someone, I don't want to say better because you're probably pretty awesome already, but someone who is a bit more wise. You are more informed, you're more aware. So that's kind of where we kind of want to ascend into, and we're doing it through that moon work. But we have to do the moon work in order to be able to reach that place of kind of inner completion. That sounds really weird and kind of sexual, but you know what I mean, you get the point. So yes, inner work, finding that kind of way to ascend to our higher level. In the conscious position, we have the Six of Wands. So that feeling of, well, that goal of achievement, of being able to do something that helps you to progress. So because we're doing all this moon work in the middle, it may be that you physically do something, or you kind of claw back your power, or you use your power to do something that is going to help you with that moon work. So it may be that you start journaling, or you start kind of a new hobby that makes you realize something about yourself. It may be doing therapy. It's basically just you choosing to take that step and really look at all the things that you have achieved over the past month, or maybe even your life if you're doing a full kind of reset, and really using what you find there to help you with this moon work. So it may be that your achievements that you've achieved, or kind of the positive aspects of your daily life or your personality, you then use to kind of support you as you delve into this moon work. Because sometimes if we get too much into the moon, it can be a bit depressing, and we can kind of feel like we're a terrible person and like life is horrible. So using that Six of Wands as a support, and really falling back on that when you feel yourself maybe slipping a little bit too much down into those depths, that is going to be your kind of anchor to kind of keep you not so kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say depressed, because that sounds terrible, but you know, down in the depths. It's going to lift you out when you need it to. And then down here in the subconscious, we have the Eight of Swords. So Eight of Swords, really about, because it's in the subconscious position, getting right in there, getting down in there, and really looking at all of the kind of deep rooted beliefs that we have, and laying them all out on the table, like I said before, and really having a look at them from a very objective point of view. So not overthinking things, really allowing yourself to think about how you feel about your beliefs, how your beliefs make you feel, vice versa. So really having a look, because I think sometimes we can believe something, or we can have a belief, and that belief can either make us happy, it can make us feel good, or it can make us feel terrible. So what we're trying to do is dig out all those beliefs and those thoughts and those kind of like things, that little voice we have in our head. We're trying to dig that out, pull it out, and be able to work through it with that kind of moon stuff. So we're really rewilding our belief system and our inner structure so that it can support us longer term in what we want to achieve. So it may be a case of you have limiting beliefs that have really been holding you back from, well, I'm going to go into the Magician in a second, but from being able to really create what you want to create, be able to move into the person you want to move into, or do the things you want to do. So we're really starting to uncover all of that down here, pull it out, and really work through the hard stuff. So we're getting really in touch with those repressed kind of things that we've been putting down deep so that we don't have to deal with. But the Aquarius full moon is illuminating all those things. So now we have the opportunity to see things that we didn't see before, and be able to work through it at our own pace. So there's actually quite a nice like little line we have going on down there. But the thing that is kind of pushing us forward is this Justice card. So it is this objectivity, this need to hold ourselves accountable, to be able to look at our past behaviors, our past beliefs, and really identify what isn't working for us, what isn't serving us, what isn't helping us move forward. We're taking a very objective thing. We're not being judgmental on ourselves. We're not saying, oh, I'm a terrible person because this happened, or you know, this makes me feel terrible because I'm terrible, or all those kind of horrible limiting beliefs, those negative thoughts that we have about ourselves. We're not judging them, we are observing them. So we're getting them out so that we can look at them all as the bigger picture, and we're working through it. We're not kind of beating ourselves up about it. So that is what's pushing us forward. That's what's kind of lighting that fire within, making us feel this need to really uncover all this stuff and work through it. So moving forward from that, we have Three of Wands. So a really nice card of progression, of taking that first step. So once we've done all of this work here with the Moon and the Eight of Swords, and we've reached that world position where we finally feel, actually, you know what, I can ascend to the next stage, I can ascend to the next level. Then the Three of Wands comes in and we can actually get going. So the Three of Wands being that card of kind of the threshold. So it's quite nice that it's in this middle section here between these two cards, because it's a bridge for us to get over to that actual movement forward. So we are looking at how we can really use what we found here to propel us forward and to give us the strength and the courage in order to see who we want to be next, see what the next level actually is for us, what are we ascending into, really deciding on that and just going for it, not overthinking it, not planning it out too much, not saying, you know, oh, well, can I be that person? Can I not be that person? What kind of thoughts and beliefs do I want to have? Can I have those thoughts and beliefs? You're just going for it. You are stepping forward into being that person. You're not holding yourself back. You're just allowing your kind of instincts and your gut intuition to push you forward into this next level. So really embracing that world completion and ascension kind of energy to move you into this Three of Wands. So let's go back down here because we have the Magician. So the Magician is that card of manifestation, of creation, of really taking all of the elements and being able to make something out of them. So really embracing this kind of power that you have in order to create what you want to create. So in this case, because we're in a full moon in Aquarius, and because it's across from this Eight of Swords down here, we are choosing who we want to be. We are choosing what we want to believe. We are choosing what kind of our core values are. We've already done this kind of assessment here, and now we are saying, okay, well, I've cleared all of this stuff out. What is going to replace it? So we've made all of this space, but what are we now going to create in order to fill that space that we've made for ourselves? So really kind of having a look at who we want to be. What are your goals? What are your kind of aspirations? What do you want to build for yourself in your life? And really starting to plan that out, really starting to feel that kind of creative energy come in, especially with that Three of Wands. We're kind of moving up from this Magician through the Three of Wands, that nice bridge card that we have in the center here, up to that Six of Wands, that achievement, that being able to push forward with what we want to achieve and what our goals are. So really nice kind of powerful, empowering card with the Magician down there in the U position. So that's kind of who you want to embody. You want to be able to find a way to really feel that inner power to help push you forward and be able to kind of move into this new cycle that we have going on here. So the next card we have up in the environment position is the King of Pentacles. So this is kind of how you're meeting the universe, how the universe is coming in to meet you. So it is asking us to really take ownership of our material world, our health, our family, our home, really taking control of that and building it in a way that aligns with kind of what we want to create. So we've talked about all this stuff out here, how we're digging it out and making space, and now we're creating stuff with the Magician down here. So the King of Pentacles is basically showing up and being like, okay, well, the only person that can make all of this stuff happen is you. So you have to be the one that takes charge. You have to be the one that kind of thinks logistically about, okay, well, I have all these goals. How do I get them? What do I have to do? Where do I have to go? Who do I have to talk to? You're really just taking charge of things and really looking at everything in a very grounded way. And that's going to kind of reward you as well, because the universe is then going to support you with that. It's going to help you manifest what you want to manifest. It's going to give you the tools that you need in order to be able to take ownership and to be able to kind of step into this power that we have coming to us in the Three of Wands. So again, really just taking ownership, taking authority, being an authority in your own inner world, in your own outer world, just really finding that confidence that you need in order to move forward and create this new cycle that we have coming in from the world. And that kind of leads us quite nicely into the devil, which has popped up in that hopes and fears position. So the devil coming in to kind of sabotage us, basically. So we have to be really careful about how we let this card affect us. We can either use this card in conjunction with the moon to kind of see what things we need to work on. So it could be that we identify the kind of negativities that the devil tends to bring out, and then use those things to inform the moon work that we do. So we can say, oh, I have these limiting beliefs, I have these negativities about myself. Okay, write them all down, work through them with the moon. Where do they stem from? What are the root of them? You know, what has caused these things to be created in our inner world? So we have to, obviously, if we're doing all of this inner work, we're really digging all this stuff out, we are going to be faced with the devil, because the devil wants to keep us here. He wants to keep all this stuff down. So we have to kind of work through that there. And where the hopes and fears position comes in, obviously the hope is that we can finally be rid of all this stuff that the devil has kind of created internally, that we can break free from the devil and we can kind of work through all of this stuff so that he's not plaguing us anymore. I say he because obviously in the Rider-Waite he's a goat man. Obviously in the Mystic Mondays deck it is a woman, but you know, whatever you want to call it. So the hope, obviously, to be able to overcome the devil. The fear is that the devil is going to overtake us, so that if we do all this moon work, if we pull out all this stuff, what are we going to find? That kind of fear of, if we get rid of all this stuff, who am I going to be once it's all gone? Who am I if all of my negativities, all of my vices, all of my bad habits, who am I away from all of that? Because obviously this is such a big part of who you are right now. Getting rid of it leaves a lot of space for ambiguity. It leaves a lot of unknown. We don't know what we want to be. We may not know if that person that we kind of step into in this next cycle is actually who we want to be. Is it going to create more negativities that we haven't dealt with or that we haven't repressed? So we're really having to kind of have that push and pull with the devil. And it's important to know that the devil is self-created. It's all in your head. It isn't anything kind of in the physical world. There's nothing stopping you from overcoming it. It's all down to you. So you have to really take that King of Pentacles energy and say, actually, no, you know what? I'm very grounded in my work. I can see the truth of the situation, so I could bring it back to this Justice card. These beliefs, these kind of negativities that I have, these deeply repressed thoughts or traumas or whatever it may be that you have going on down here in the Moon card, I'm visualizing them objectively. So I'm not embracing this devil. I'm not judging myself for this. So really fighting against that kind of energy that will come up, because it's only natural that it does. That's how our human psychology works. So really fighting against that and using all these really positive cards that we've got. So the Six of Wands and the Magician and the Three of Wands and the King of Pentacles, and really using all of those energies to give you strength, give you courage, and help you fight against this devil energy that may be coming up. And then finally, in the outcome position, we have the Knight of Wands, the Fire of Fire. So once we have done all this work, we have reached that place of the world and the ascension, and we start to move into this new cycle, we then feel this kind of power, this motivation to really go forward and just kind of go for what we want to go for. What do we want to aim for? What are our goals? And just go for it. So we get a lot of empowerment from doing this work and being able to work through it all. And especially from overcoming this devil, just that in itself can be a really empowering thing to do. So we are moving into this place where we feel a lot more kind of in control. We feel more, what's the word I'm looking for? Confident, a bit more motivated to do what we want to do. However, obviously it's a Knight of Wands, so we also have to kind of be careful that it doesn't get too out of control. We don't take things so far that we end up slipping back into this devil again, because we don't want to do that. So really finding a balance within the Knight of Wands that we avoid bringing this devil back in our next cycle. So really just using this King of Pentacles to ground and root the Knight of Wands in order to kind of give it a nicer balance. So we have this air and earth here really grounding, anchoring this Knight of Wands energy that we have, so that we can feel that motivation, we can be empowered, we can be like, okay, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna get what I want, I'm gonna become the person that I want to become. Here's all this awesome beliefs and values that I want to have as this new person, and I'm gonna like do things to help me kind of embrace that and build on that. But I'm also going to be anchoring that in the King of Pentacles and really being able to see how all those things work in a practical sense. How will they work in my life with who I am right now? So we're not derailing ourselves as we go into this new cycle. We're starting on a nice foundation to kind of build on. So that is it for this full moon in Aquarius. I hope that made sense. I hope it was helpful to you. Obviously, if you want to grab the Mystic Mondays deck for yourself, if you feel very called to it, we do have it in the Self-Care Emporium shop, so you can grab some. I am just looking now how many I have. I only have 3 left, so if you do want to grab a deck, I would suggest you do it quickly, because I don't know how long I will have them for. But that is all for this month. If you want to have a one-on-one reading with me, you can do. I do spiritual guidance readings, so we use the tarot to work through any obstacles, any self-created obstacles, life obstacles that you may have that are kind of blocking you from moving forward. You can get a one-on-one reading, video or email, up to you. Or you can also have a look at my monthly packages, which will see us working together month on month. So that is it for this month. I hope you all have a lovely moon cycle, and I will see you next month. Bye!